So, welcome back everybody. This is Wolf again, and I'm here first time commentating with Lorena. We're both the team from the Champions Cup in Berlin, and Gabriel again asked me to jump in because his daughter is playing in the Swedish team, and he doesn't want to do comments while his daughter is playing. So I jumped in for him.
Yeah, really, do I have to do this with you?
Yeah, you have.
I was being so happy with Thomas and with
Yes, I know.
They
but
let me be, you know.
you have to stand. You have to stand this at least for one game, Lorena. You have to stand me.
It's going to be tough.
I'm so sorry.
8 days.
I missed you too. I missed you too.
Okay.
So, Lorena, what do you say about the level of the games we've seen so far?
Well, you know, Sweden is the favorite team here. They have been competing since many years. And they have a sport well established, even though they are having some troubles right now with new players. And Canada is the first time they play, so
it's a pretty
we'll
new environment for Canada, and it like Martello just told me from the male Canadian team I had the interview with.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't hear me,
no,
yeah,
but
you saw me, Lorena?
Yes, of course.
Did I look good?
Always.
Oh, okay, thank you. So the Canadian female team is pretty new to that environment, and I think the Swedish team with players from Amager who played at the Champions Cup, incredible game.
Why are we talking about Denmark?
Sorry, that was Denmark.
Okay, listen, let me tell Erika Lindström, the number 83, is the captain of the Swedish team. And I don't have the information about the captain of the Canadian team. Let me see, can you see, it's the number 99. So Rose Elizabeth Abry, she is the captain, okay? And Emma is the 49.
Here we go, the game starts, and both teams are going for the ball. And we're in the game, and Canada is in ball possession right away.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just
attacked
laughing
by
at
two.
last game.
You're not laughing about me, Lorena?
No, I'm laughing because I was asking why Julio
please
the
always
Ugly.
Please always confirm you're not laughing about me.
We were talking about one of the players of the Colombian team was called Julio the Ugly, and I asked why.
So
I got the reply. Thank you.
Canada does quite a good job in ball position, and now Sweden conquered the ball and is going for the Canadian basket. Almost undisturbed by the forechecking of Canada. There's only a defender and the goalkeeper, and we're over the basket of Canada.
Well,
nice change, fast change.
Yeah, from the goalies.
Yes, and you always see in the way the teams change, how used they are to the situation. Call from the referee. Let's listen to what we have, what he tells.
Wide free throw.
It's a wide free throw.
Let's see
so
if Canada can take.
At least go into the half.
I mean, yeah, they defend.
Pretty good start.
Very good start, exactly. The male Canadian team got the first goal within the 25 seconds of the start of the game against Colombia. So now, okay, Sweden is in counter-attack. And they're coming, the goalie just made it, and it's too blue under the light basket, and it went up. I mean, that was good defended by the Canadian girls. Now they're trying something, the referees
call from the referee.
Let's see.
It was a call from the underwater referee.
Probably pushing with a ball or something like this. I can't see if he did, and we have a free throw
against Sweden again. Interesting start. I would have thought Sweden is much more dominant in the first seconds, but Canada does a very good job here keeping Sweden at bay. It looks like Sweden has to go into the rhythm of the game, and this is a good chance for Canada to touch base with the Swedish basket. Another call from the referee. Looks a little bit chaotic altogether.
Yeah, we have to see, they need to find a little bit the
flow
flow.
Against Canada.
The game is not flowing yet.
Especially after you've seen a game like from Colombians where so much flow. into the
The
game.
Swedish girl is showing to the Canadian to have the 2 meters distance, please. Remember, when you execute a free throw, the players of the opponent team needs to be 2 meters away, and the one that is executing the
And
free throw
again, a call
can't
from
move.
the referee.
And it has to be executed within the first seconds. So something, let's see, can you hear?
Yes, I switched on. I think it was holding.
White free throw.
White free throw again. So it's a third free throw. That's quite a big amount for what we've seen so far. Not many free throws in the last game, not at least in that short time of the beginning.
They have 11 players, the Canadian team, and the Swedish team had 15. So that could also be, eventually could be a factor. Right now they're just starting, but that means they have just 5 players in the exchange bank. And apparently they have only 3 attackers. So if they're playing according to what we have here, the attackers are doing,
Pretty
you
good
have
job.
chewing water one outside. That means they will have a lot of water time, and that can be quite exhausting. Okay, so the goalie just got the ball and is trying to swim away, has 2 Swedish
players stole the basket of the Canadians. Always a dangerous moment. Here comes the ball carrier in between. Yes, and that was very well planned.
For Sweden. But, I mean, 2.5 minutes.
Very well executed with stealing away the basket. And then the ball carrier comes fast and the ball goes in behind the
This is
wall.
a tactic that the Swedish team does a lot, stealing the basket. You need to be super careful. It's really annoying as a goalie to play against them because sometimes you need to really dive very, very early, otherwise they steal it.
And this exhausts you.
That just get on my nerves. I want to have my
Here we go again, another attack from Sweden, number 31.
Oh, okay, grab the goalie, pull her up, and
Anna Överby Bernstedt.
And now let's see.
Just attacked. Let's see what the referee.
Blue player number 37.
37.
37, yes.
We don't have a 37. Okay.
We have no Swedish player
with 37. Okay.
In our list. Interesting.
If anyone knows who the 37 is, that's funny. I mean, there was any late replaced by the, sadly a lot of players get injured within few weeks before the championship because sometimes the amount of training they do or so, and in the last minute they need to be replaced. So if something like this happened to the Swedish team, let us know.
Another call. There are a lot of calls from the referee, from the underwater referees especially in this game. It's like a breakup game. Free throw against Sweden.
Yeah, but this is what I'm surprised because it's like Sweden is committing a lot of faults. I would expect that maybe from a newer team like Canada, and it's the other way around. So I wonder.
But maybe Canada is forcing these faults. I haven't seen it yet that much.
I don't know. I don't think they have the experience to force these faults.
True.
And I couldn't see exactly what, because the referees aren't doing a lot of signs underwater, so I couldn't tell what was the reason of the free throws. Okay, we have now Sweden a counter-attack, and let's see, we have 3 of them underwater passing. We just got stuck in the middle, but passed the ball, and now they're arriving over the middle right, over the close side.
And another call.
It's against another free throw. Free throw
against Sweden.
Against Sweden?
Yeah,
but
I think so.
I couldn't see.
What happened?
Yeah, the referee is not giving a sign of what's the cause of the free throw.
What's happened?
Give blue team a warning. Always hold. Always do this holding. Yeah. If they are 2 or 3 from the hole.
Blue team. Blue team. Blue team.
There's a
Captain
warning
blue team.
for the blue team.
Yep.
Captain blue team. Captain blue team.
The captain, Erika Lindström, 83, if it's right in the paper.
Captain white team. Captain white team. So.
Yes, okay. Wait, then you wait for the white.
stop kicking inside with the knees whenever they are in fight. Stop getting the knees into it. I don't
Sära på lagen.
That's why you
Sära på lagen.
Split the team.
into the body of the other.
You can go back.
Use the horn. 2 times.
Go back. Go back. You can take the ball. You have free throw afterwards.
Don't get it in the basket. Just hold it on the basket.
So it was a warning for rough playing.
Never wait.
No, for holding on the basket.
Tell this to next time, 2 minutes. Okay?
He just, they got, I think probably that's why we were seeing,
So many free throws.
yes, they're holding on the
Warning.
basket apparently. Team warning. That means the next time they do this same fault, one of the players is going to get 2 minutes outside. When they warn the whole team, that means the next time is going to be 2 minutes outside. So, I mean, for the people that is new.
Look, it was the movement was not like holding without ball. It was like the pushing with the knee into the other player. I think it was for rough playing, as far as I understood, because the movement the player just did to show her team players what the referee meant was not like holding. So they made a kind of kick with a knee, and they got a warning for it. And if the referee will see it again, there will be 2 minutes for the Swedish team. Okay, Canada, free throw for Canada. Ball is falling down out of the hands of the Canadian player. Two against two. Canadian player holds the ball. Pretty good performance here from Canada so far. Here we go. Sweden is tuning in on the Canadian basket. Just around behind the defender, and now we have the attacker right in the head of the goalkeeper, pushing in. Call from the referee again. This could be interesting. Let's see. What's the score? I didn't see it. Ah, yes, just throw it in later, yes.
From the above.
So it's a 3-0 now for Sweden. It was in the empty basket. Huh? No goal.
No.
Ah, no goal. So I was right in the beginning. Interesting. So free throw for Canada.
Canada again, but they're not being very successful with the free throw. This has been happening all the time. The teams are not that really experienced. Actually, the free throws had turned into their own
advantage.
No,
it becomes a
disadvantage.
Disadvantage, yeah. It's always important to execute the free throw as fast as possible.
Yeah, and you have also a tactic behind it, and that the players are concentrated enough to really do the tactic. Otherwise, if you are too static, then you will have always one of the players jumping into you. Probably a player like Sweden or Norway, or
they
Germany.
Know how to intercept.
Or Colombia, exactly.
And another call from the referee. It's really interrupted game here. Let's hear. Free throw against Sweden. Again, interesting. It's probably the 10th already we have against Sweden, free throw.
Yeah, at least about.
And normally the referees really get impatient with the team, so they will give after a team warning. We will be close to 2 minutes.
Yeah, because they really want to play with the advantage. They want the game to flow, and we have here the Canadians girl trying to go farther, but they are in the middle of the field, and two blues are fighting for the ball. She could pass it, and now they're still in possession of the white team, but they're in the surface. Doing the surface is always a disadvantage. The game is like not really flowing, and now the Canadian player lost the ball sadly, and the Sweden girls got it. They're at the bottom of the pool. They have 3 of them. They're trying to start. Great job recovering the ball from the Canadian team. And this is something you shouldn't do. Turn around, when you have the ball,
She was tangled in the cable of the referee, so she had to turn around. She had to get free of it. Yes.
I mean, it looked like
No.
it didn't look really completely
Her fin was into the cable. That's why she turned around. But now we don't see anything. Could you please switch the camera to the action? Thank you.
So now we have a Swedish team. I mean, 2-0 after the first 5 minutes of the game. I mean, Canada is doing a great job. I'm surprised that Sweden is committing so many fouls, that they have gotten so many free throws against them. And they're having, that was a grabbing
was
around
holding,
there.
yeah,
was
that
goaling for the
pushing and
attacker,
holding.
and the Canadian girls got the ball back. They're doing a great job considering the experience of the Swedish team. It's been difficult for them to score, and the goalie just turned around, good catch. Still, we have the Swedish player right underneath and pull the goalie up and score.
It took many waves for them to score, so
it's not been easy for the
impressive.
Swedish team. Yep.
Defense
Blue player number 10. Go.
Blue player number 10 is Caroline Edman. And
I don't know it will be possible for Canada to score, but nevertheless they don't give any space to the Swedish and make it really difficult for the Swedish to establish their game, and even forcing them to commit these foul play that threatens them to get 2 minutes. It's interesting.
Now they just arrived to the Swedish basket, but they're taking too long. You cannot take this long because the moment you hesitate, I mean, the Swedish girls are too experienced and they just take the ball.
Oh, this is going to be a fast counterattack.
So now we have 2 against 1. Let's see if the Swedish girl can achieve a scoring. The defender went up. Oh, okay, good job defending, really. I mean, good reaction of the defender. Still 3 blues against 2 white was not enough.
Goalkeepers and defenders are very strong and solid.
Now that the last 2 goals were very close from each other, we have 4-0 for Sweden. And in the replay, it's a bit hard because sometimes we have a lot of the players blocking the images. I wish if we eventually can have like cameras inside the baskets to see, you know, to have it from there, the angle against the wall inside the basket.
Yeah,
but the problem is, when you score, we
and the other thing is we talked about that. If you have an camera angle, if you switch the cameras, you lose totally from where you come from. So you lose the overview of the.
Still, I think it would be nice to see from the goalie towards the field how the contrast come.
But mostly there's should be a defender lying in front of it. Here we go. Sweden again is going for the Canadian basket. Canadian defense is in position. Bless you, Lorena.
Sorry.
Don't get sick on me. I need you to be my co-commentator. And again, Sweden is pushing hard from the open side into the basket, but the defense is very solid. It almost never, Sweden succeeds almost never with the 4 goals they did in the first wave they go in. They really have to push hard again and again until they create a gap like they do right now to score.
Yeah.
Really nice defense work by Canada. And it's a 5-0 now after more than a half of the first half here in the game. Sweden in blue against Canada in white in the 11th World Championship in underwater rugby here in Graz. I'm Wolf, this is Lorena with me, and we are the commentator team normally doing the comments with the Champions Cup. And here the ball is free, recovered by Sweden. Many arms, oh, there was a grip on the mask. Many arms here around the ball. Ball is dropping down again in the hands of a Swedish player, number 8, Lina Kavalin. And she goes for the basket on the close side, like sneaking in on the side. Already number 2 is waiting, Kaisa Lilja, waiting to receive the ball up on the surface again. Coming from the close side, pushing hard on the basket.
I even have the feeling the size of the Swedish players, they're a little bit larger than the Canadian, some of the Canadian girls, so that also eventually is an advantage. You have longer arms.
Basket stolen by a Swedish player again. Sliding with the stomach on the basket, call from the referee.
And free throw again for Canada. Pushing without the ball. And let's see if Canada can take advantage of this free throw. So far they haven't been able. Timeout for which team?
White timeout.
Timeout
White
for Canada.
Okay, good. I mean, almost
choice.
half through. Yeah, half through the first half. We have a timeout, and so far, remember, we have Canada in white playing with 11 players, and we have the Swedish team playing with 12 and having 3 in reserve. I think that the Canadian girls don't have, so I wondered as well, you know, after all the competitions, all the games, that eventually can be exhausting, because the attackers are only 3. They have 4 goalkeepers, 4 defenders, and 3 attackers. So that means they are changing 2 in the water, 1 outside, and that can be quite exhausting at this level, right? But they're showing a great performance. They are defending very good, considering the experience that the Swedish team has. 5-0 after the first 8 minutes is a great score for this match. They have been getting a lot of free throw for the Canadian team because they have been committing some faults repeatedly. They have a team warning for ref game, so they need to be careful on not to repeat the same mistake. Otherwise they're going to get it 2 minutes for the player that do it next.
And it looks like the Canadian team is quite a young team age-wise. The player look really young here. And again, Sweden in ball possession, going for the Canadian basket. 3 Swedish players, 1 on each side, 1 in the middle. Perfect setup to score, but tackled away. The ball carrier was tackled away by player 29 to the surface, which is Adriana Elizabeth Rodriguez Valencia. She was putting and a call, no, score. That's another score. But again, it was not the first wave. They always need to work a little bit to get the ball into the basket. Here we see the replay. Attacker coming from above, from the close side. And it looked a little bit like it was the exchange of the goalkeeper.
Although the goalkeepers are doing also a very good job changing when they're under attack.
And I think there's no doubt here the Swedish team is the dominant one, but Canada makes it as hard as possible for the Swedish to play their game and to score against them. Another call from the referee, and it's another free throw against Sweden. These really a lot of free throws we see here in favor of Canada.
You would expect exactly the opposite, because a young team under pressure, stressed out, is more likely to commit mistakes. But I'm surprised that the Swedish team has been, sanctioned this much.
And I guess the Swedish team does not do it deliberately. It seems something they're doing.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I think you don't risk it if you catch so many free throws. All right.
I know teams that would risk it.
Okay, another attack from the. Oh, that was almost in the basket. The second push put it in the basket.
Three blue players against 1 or 2 white. So
I think what we see right now is the exhaustion taking a toll on the Canadian team. And they are a little bit like breaking. Not breaking is not the real word, but like losing a little bit of their spirit and energy.
That's normal. No, I wouldn't say the spirit, but the energy. I mean, it gets exhausting because they are not being able to really put their pace into the game. They are adjusting and reacting to the Swedish game, and that's just tiring. And they don't have the experience, so there's maybe a lot of new situations that they don't know how to solve. That put also, you know, this mental strain also takes a lot of energy, and so that's you know, that can create also a factor of a lack of concentration, and eventually you start committing more mistakes. Now they're trying to keep the ball, or this grip from above where you
and another call from the referee.
The head is just not nice.
So again a free throw against Sweden. I think it's the 20th altogether now we have as a free throw.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, I lost now the chat. I'm trying to recover.
We have a little problem here with the live chat. Probably you don't get the answers you need at once because we don't have a Wi-Fi connection in our commentator box, so we cannot connect to the live stream and the chat and answer your questions. If you have any, please, maybe we can solve this in the next days, but right now we don't have a connection to the live stream and the chat, and
I mean,
only
I
have our
it with
smartphones.
yeah, exactly.
But this is our data we are using, and that will be over fast. So another attack from Sweden. Again, 2-3 players coming in from the close side. This is the number 8 pushing Lina Kavalin. And up on the surface, tackled to the surface by Canadian defense. First wave was fended off. And again, Sweden in ball possession, diving down at once above the goalkeeper with 2 players. One on the open side already waiting. That is number 14. Which is Elin Strand. Again tackled away, and Canada is in ball possession. So if I ever said they are losing some of their stamina, I think that's not true. They're still in the game, and they fended off this attack quite professional, and they are swimming away with the ball. Still in ball possession, going for the Swedish half, and this after more than 12 minutes in the first half. Not so bad as a performance here. And here is Sweden again. This is number 83, the captain Erika Lindström swam for the basket in the middle of the pool. And now we have number 31 waiting in the open side of the pool, Anna Örby Bernstedt, pushing really hard on the basket, and another score. Very well done. We see some penalty time here that does not mean...
37, 3-7.
3-7. We don't have her.
Yeah, 3-7 doesn't exist in our list, so we cannot tell you it was. But please ignore the penalty time in the live stream display. It's just probably a test run. Doesn't say anything. And here we start again. Still 2 minutes, a little bit more than 2 minutes left in the first half. Canada in white against Sweden in blue, and Sweden is leading 8-0, solid 8-0 lead against the newbie Canada. And another attack from the open side, fought heavily into it. It was guest number 2, as far as I see. That's Kaisa Lilja. Very nice turn back and forth to make room, get free of the defenders, and then throw the ball in the basket. Very well done. You still with me, Lorena?
I am here, always. I'm just trying to get connection to the internet to see if I can.
You can have a connection to me. Connect with me.
Yeah, but having a connection to you doesn't help me to answer the chat.
But I can answer your questions if you have any.
I don't have any.
Really?
I know
You're
everything.
questionless?
Of course.
That's an amazing state of
I have
bliss.
all the answers.
Ah, you have. Can I ask you a question?
No.
Okay. Thank
What
you.
do you want to know?
Back in the game. Here is Sweden again, next to the basket, and it's interesting to see how Canada always succeeds. Oh, that was a guy's goal because it was in the change of the
now the
goalkeepers.
last few goals have been happening very quickly.
but not that easy because when
easy,
when you were occupied with getting internet, Canada made a really nice defense action and even get away with the ball. So they still have spirit and they still have energy, and I think they are good for counter-attack if Sweden does not pay close attention to their own basket.
And they are in a team, in the group, sorry, with Finland. We have a total of 14 teams for the women, if I'm correct.
Yeah, 14 teams for the women and 17 for the men.
And the 14 women are distributed in 4 groups. 2 of the group have 4, and two others have 3. And Sweden, Finland, and Canada, and in the group D.
And again, Sweden stole the basket. That's always the very dangerous situation for the Canadian basket, for the Canadian team. That was a Oh, the Canadian goalkeeper pushed away the Swedish player who stole the basket. This is going to be a heavy, yeah, this is going to be a penalty. I'm quite sure. She was like...
Free throw. Free throw, so she needs to hurry up and cover the basket, otherwise we surely have a
free throw.
And we have surely a Swedish player in the basket right now. I mean, I couldn't see, but they were probably almost fighting.
Didn't make it.
Well, but
It's
she's
interesting
right
decision
there.
because it was a heavy push without ball.
From the
Swedish player. I know, from the Canadian player.
Okay. Something
and another call.
There. We have free throw for Canada again. I think it will look like pushing without ball. Now we have Canada coming into a counter-attack, but they have really trouble to get over the middle field. Okay, the first time is over. We have 5 minutes break now, and another 15 minutes to go. They're changing the side. Now Canada will be on the side of the artificial wall. And so 10-0 for Canada. For Sweden, sorry.
I think Canada is, the Canadian female team is able to be trouble for some other teams here in the World Championship. And it's quite a good performance we see from them in their first participation in the World Championship here in Graz. Just to give you a little bit of overview, the pool is 4 meters deep, 19 long and 16 wide. Let me check. (16 meters long and 9 wide and 4 meters deep. So it's a very good regular rugby pool to play fast. And Lorena changed now again with Thomas. Hello, Thomas.
Welcome. Hello.
I'm so happy to have you back. It's not because Lorena is gone. It's just like, you know.
I feel a teeny tiny bit of sarcasm in here.
I'm not a sarcastic person.
It's really good to be back here. I think I'm starting my afternoon shift right now, so to speak.
After you had a little sleep next to me here.
I had a little nap in here.
It looked so peaceful. It looked so very peaceful. I almost fell asleep looking at you. It was perfect.
Yeah, it's exhausting starting at 8 in the morning and you have 4 hours of commentating.
You tell me.
Then again, I mean... Yeah. No, now we're back in the game. We're fully awake. We might even get some coffee, so we are good to go. But back into the game, Canada against Sweden.
Did you follow it?
Yeah. I followed the game. Of course I did.
Of course you did. We follow every game, even if you fall asleep.
Yeah. No, I was listening with my eyes closed.
Amazing feature. To my comments, so you got everything. Thank you for the compliment. So yeah, what do you say about the performance of the Canadian team?
Yeah, I'm quite surprised actually. They're doing really well. Sweden is a tough matchup. They are surely one of the top contenders on the female side here. I'm kind of looking forward on how they will progress throughout the entire tournament. They're looking pretty solid so far. It's always tough to say if you're playing an opponent that's quite a bit stronger than you to judge the effective strength of a team here. That's why I'm looking forward to some other games where they will most likely have some teams that are on their competitive level. We'll see, I think, who else is in their group actually?
Finland, I think, Lorena said, female is...
Finland and Canada.
Finland and Canada.
They'll have a tough group, but we'll see who they will be playing after that.
What surprised me, and I don't know if you followed it, but the amount of free throws we got against Sweden.
Yes.
What's your view on it? Because Lorena said you can play deliberately to get an advantage, and if you have good referees, they will catch you. But I think the amount we saw after a certain point, you will stop doing these because you risk getting 2 minutes.
Yes, it's especially baffling in this game because Sweden should know that they're a stronger team.
Yeah.
And if they keep the ball fluidly going, then they are surely on a much bigger advantage than going in physically. So my personal opinion is that some of the Swedish players might even be a bit nervous here. It's a World Championship. They didn't know what to expect against Canada. So the first half, they were testing how far they can go. Sometimes you just go into a match and see how see what you can do and what the referees will call and what they won't call.
Yes, you test them. Yeah.
Some players are also used to a very physical gameplay from their own league or playing against men. And in this case, being in a female matchup, some of their moves they usually use might not be appropriate anymore. Or might be seen by the referees as an extensive use of force because they are used to using a lot of physical strength.
And it's also what the referees are used to see.
Yeah.
That's also, if you're used to have rough games and you play yourself in rough style, probably you let it go easier than if you have a player who does not like this way of playing and is not used to it, play it himself.
Also, quite often depends on the referees who are in the water here. So it's hard to say specifically why there were so many free throws in the first half. We might be following up on some future games. If we see Sweden playing against another opponent and there will be again a lot of free throws, it might actually be a bit deliberate here.
And see the second half, what happens now.
Yeah,
maybe
now
they talked about
if
it.
Continues, or if they will just keep the ball going, keep the ball running, keep the game in a good pace and flow.
3 Swedish players already at the Canadian basket, pushing really hard. 4 Swedish players down there.
Yeah,
And here we go, first
nice
goal.
Attack there.
Wow, that
the
was
basket.
under 20 seconds almost in the second half here in the game. Sweden that is leading already 10-0, now 11-0 against Canada. Impressive start.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
And again, same situation. I just had to clarify here something. And again, another attack.
Pretty much the same move here, but this time the Canadian goalkeeper could twist himself around and get hold of the ball and going back up to the surface here. Now the ball floating freely, but the Swedish player already underneath.
And that was
a
a goal.
goalkeeper on the basket. And
So we have a
clueless defender lying in front of the basket.
12-0.
That's one of the worst situations to be in as a defender. If you don't know that there is no goalkeeper on the basket.
3-7. Yes.
Goal by number 37. Again, the ominous secret person on the Swedish team.
Yes, it doesn't exist.
But it might actually be the player number 31, and it looks just like a 37.
No,
because
31 is in the game.
Yeah, but 31 just got out the ball and looks like 37.
You mean it's a misunderstanding?
So I'd say Anna Öfve Wernstad is the ominous number 37 that might be the mistaken number 31 here.
That's an interesting theory, Thomas. I call you Watson from now on.
Yep.
All right, Watson, go ahead.
Is your microphone on? I think so.
Yeah,
Okay, now we're back in the game, and Canada is attacking here onto the basket of Sweden. But losing the ball here and straight back into their own half. 3 Swedish players here on the advance against the Canadian basket, going underneath, having a lot of time and space underneath the back of this Canadian goalkeeper, but the defender there just in time to get a hold of the ball. And that's actually a very interesting thing to do as well. I mean, now
Call from the referee. Game stopped.
White free ball.
Free throw here.
And again, story continues.
Very interesting fact here. If you're attacking a goal with 2 or more players and you're swimming opposite of each other and you're going onto the basket, don't position left and right of the basket. One should go into the corner and the other should block the way for the defender.
Yes.
So they're not able to attack them.
Yeah.
It's a very important thing. A lot of players do wrong, especially when they start playing out the position on the other side of the goal and leave the middle of the goal of the basket open.
And if you are blocked on the one side, you cannot go away, and you still have the ball, so you cannot play. So yeah, absolutely true. Always block for the other one carrying the ball, and don't play to the block.
Yeah.
That's the other thing in that
Block
moment.
is
Then.
a no-go play.
Yeah, block is a no-go play. We can make a T-shirt out of that. Block is a no-go play.
I'm just block.
Don't. Okay, stop that. All right, we have a 12-0.
Lead here for the Swedish team, but now Canada in ball possession. Oh, there was a kick on the step here.
I have to say the referees are really up to it. They see the details, and so far it's a brilliantly executed refereeing by the referee team here. We still don't have the names of the referees for each game. Hopefully we will get them in the next days. And again, the Swedish player coming from above, nicely executed, was the number 10, which is Caroline Ammann. Very well done.
We might have to be schooled about Swedish pronunciation by Deborah at some point.
Yes. Caroline, can you pronounce it?
Number 10.
Number 10, Caroline.
Is it
A? Allman.
Allman. Okay.
Caroline Allman. Thank you, Deborah.
Well. Okay, back into the game. Canada in the middle of the pool, but immediately attacked by 2-3 Swedish players. But one Canadian player waiting underneath was number 99 here, Rose Elizabeth Abry.
But she's alone right in front of it, stopped by the defender in that forechecker. But still, they can hold on to the ball. The Canadians can hold on to the ball, and they
twisting and twirling around to get the Swedish attacker off her. But only one player to pass to, and already 3 Swedish forwards going straight for the ball, getting it away from her. Now changing sides into the, let's call it, German corner again.
The Canadians didn't really succeed in establishing their attack pattern. They were really fast interrupted if they are getting close to the Swedish basket and are back in defense of their own. As an empty basket, this is exhaustion, and this is losing of focus in this point. So it's a 14-0 now.
With the 14-0 lead. And if you compare it here on the water, and you can see it as well as the screen, is Swedish women here also with a bit of a size and strength advantage over the Canadian women, so that's clearly visible. So you should never underestimate the effect of sheer size advantage, not even talking about strength here.
Yeah.
So quite tough matchup here for the Canadian women, but they're doing really well for the first appearance at an international tournament.
It's good rugby they're playing. They are doing a good job, and they are not making many mistakes. The Sweden really have to force their goals and fight for them. So it's not like we haven't seen many goals like the last one on an open basket with no defense. So impressive first appearance on the World Cup here. World Championship, sorry. We're not allowed to say World Cup. It's World Championship. And we still have a little bit less than 10 minutes to go. So Canada really is now testing their stamina to hold on and fend off Sweden a little bit longer. They are in attack mode, but not enough player in the water around the basket to pass the ball down. And we have a cluster around above the Swedish basket, and the goalkeeper 25 of the Swedish team, Sophie Öberg, is lying peacefully on the basket waiting. And here we go, counter attack, number 14.
2 players here on the advance.
And they go in here on the open side.
The back of the goalkeeper.
Number 14, which is Elin Strand, pushed really hard. Long bottom time.
One Canadian player here, number 10. Well done here by Diana Martinez.
But this is very often unexpected, how they interfere and then get the ball out. It's very good.
Yeah. Passing back to Adriana Stella Sales de Barros. And then moving out here into the middle of the pool. But the Swedish forwards always very close to the ball, attacking mostly immediately after the pass. So there's barely any free space to go for the Canadian team here.
Oh, two were fighting without
they
ball.
missed the ball.
They was just dropping down to the surface, to the bottom. It's like it takes a little bit longer now for the Canadians to be ready to receive the ball from their fighting colleague, and again lost the ball to the Swedish team, who are going straight for the basket. 3 players are zooming in on the Canadian basket, 2 on the close side. It's a little bit chaotic at the moment right now. Here we go. Attack from the close side, pushing in. Defense is ready. Number 12 is waiting on the open side, pushing in, and here it is.
Yeah, last one is
Nina Berggren. The replay.
Waiting on the open side.
12 from 2.
Pushed from underneath, and the goalkeeper was already halfway up. Easy score here for the Swedish women.
But again, it's not like they swim through and score without nothing. They have resistance. And this is what is important for the team to learn in a game like this. And like Martello from the male Canadian said, he learned a lot from that game he just played against the Colombians. Again, another call from the referee.
Yeah, I think it was attack on the equipment because I've seen one Canadian swimming in there without a mask.
Free throw against Canada.
Yeah. Emma Jane Green there got all her equipment stripped from her.
And it's a really nice, consistent performance from Sweden, what we see here. It's a strong team, and they always go like this. They go in with 3 players and really take possession of the whole basket area until they score, which is not that easy. But here again, in the exchange of the Canadian players, goalkeepers. But nevertheless, oh no, what was the zone? No goal.
He's pushing without the ball. Yeah.
Free throw against Canada.
Okay, number 14, Erin Strand, pushed onto the goalkeeper without the ball. The referee saw it perfectly well. Good job here by the refs. Because quite often they miss on some tournaments and club tournaments, they miss plays like this where players pushing without being in possession of the ball. But good call here. And here again, yet again, Sweden on the advance against the Canadian basket. But the defender got in between at the last moment. Diana Martinez here trying to wiggle out of the Swedish grips. But the ball stripped away here by Erika Lindström.
And again,
a nice pass downwards to
second
number
wave.
25, Sophie Öberg again.
Blue player, 25.
I'm looking forward to see Sweden play against Finland. This is going to be a really interesting game in this group. Yeah.
I'm generally quite interested in how some of the women's games are going to end up. I mean, we have some X factors in the group A, where we have Germany against Turkey, which we don't know how they're going to play. USA against Spain might be also an interesting game. Group B is very tough. Austria, Colombia 3-0. Denmark might be on the same level as Colombia, might be a bit weaker, would be strong, we don't know. I know they had some practice matches.
And another call from the referee.
Attack on the equipment
White
again.
free ball.
And again, white free throw. To be honest, at some point they had a warning already, and it's 2 or 3 times now that there was an attack on equipment. And even though it's not deliberate, at some point you should give a team warning here.
They already had a team
committing
warning.
the same foul over and over again. Yeah, but had different team warnings.
Okay,
for unnecessary roughness rather than for attack on the equipment. But if you're doing it over and over again and all you get is a free throw against you, knowing that the other team is weaker than you are and the free throw might not be that much of an advantage, as we already talked about today.
Yeah.
Okay, Sweden snapped away the goal here and now working their way towards the ring.
They did that many times in that game already.
Yeah, but
Still in
Canada
the
here
basket.
now, back onto the basket.
And another wave coming in.
Carson going in, trying to get a hold onto the goalkeeper's neck here. And going out.
Well,
Sneaky
that
little
was
pass
a
there,
weak
but the
pass.
defender read it. Adriano Salibaros read the pass and went out there. Why do all these Canadians have so many names?
Colombian heritage. Probably, or I guess.
I'm sorry to all of you Canadian players. I'll just use the first name and the last name I get. Ooh, nice attack here now.
Here we go. Ball was pushed out of the hand.
Ball was pushed out, and Sweden already back on the counter attack. Caroline Eman. I might be able to pronounce it correctly at the end of the World Championship. Here on the advance, getting a hold onto the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper trying to.
Whoa, this is a huge cluster over the basket. Ball is dropping down, recovered by a Canadian player. She was holding
again,
on.
pulling on the equipment.
Oh, that was
now there should be a 2-minute penalty at some point.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yes, that was deliberate as well.
Okay, we get free throw avalanche. Right in front of us, the team of Slovakia is getting ready. This is going to be interesting. Never saw them playing.
We practiced with them for the last month.
Ah, okay, cool. Nice. So you will have some insights.
Potentially. I shouldn't give too much away, maybe. I don't know.
And here we go. Free throw for Canada. Lost in the hands of the Swedish team, which switches into attack mode at once. Stopped by one forechecker, which is player number 29, Adriana Valencia. Very well done to stop at least the first wave. And here we have number 25 from the Swedish team trying to steal the basket, Sophie Öberg. Didn't succeed in that moment. Number 83 is going in hard.
Straight back in.
Erik Landström, the captain of the team. And another call from the referee.
White free ball.
Oh. I think it's going to be the record of free throws for one team so far.
And that's the next.
Attacking the neck, apparently, or head. Interesting. There is some German interference right in front of the commentator booth. The officials making fun of us.
Yeah, the technical delegate is making fun of us right in front of us and doing some dance jokes. It's quite unexpected. Very nice.
Okay, but back into the game here. Sweden yet again at the Canadian basket. Canada still holding tough against the Swedish attacks here.
And I haven't seen Canada giving up at any moment.
No.
They made some mistakes where there was an empty basket, but most of all, it's a great performance that is straight, concentrated, focused on the game. Very well performance, even if you see a 16-0, but it's the way, the behavior they play their game is
okay, now the referees are
unimpressive.
discussing that there's the 2-minute penalty now for against Sweden. Referee Robert Black now
yes.
sends Swedish player
2
out.
minutes, yes.
But no, it's a 2-minute penalty, and out is number 10.
It's Caroline
Caroline Öhman is out. So Canada is in the advantage and has a free throw. So I don't think it changes much for the chances Canada has to score, but nevertheless Sweden is one player less in the water. Here we have the penalty time, which is 1 minute.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, sorry. And again,
Yet again a free throw against Sweden.
I think this is going to be definitely.
They won't be getting the fair play pokal.
No.
Fair play
but
trophy doesn't go
well,
to Sweden, for the Swedish women, at least not for the first game.
No. But really interesting against a team like Canada. Here we go. Sweden is for the Canadian basket. It's a one-on-one situation. She has at least 2 seconds.
She tried
Didn't
to just
succeed.
force it through,
Yeah.
but
Over
nice
the
run by
head.
the goalkeeper here.
Very well
Just
defended by the
blocked
goalkeeper.
space.
Good game by the Canadian defense. In Germany we would say, sie lassen sich nicht die Butter vom Brot nehmen. I cannot translate that in English. they don't let anyone steal the butter, steal the butter from their bread. But it's very, very good. Very focused.
Mostly, you can see the Swedish women overpowering the Canadian defense here, going with more force, having the stronger players in general, pushing through, but not. Canada here holding against them. If they're in position, they quite well are able to defend against Swedish attacks here. But it's a lot of these inconsistencies on the Canadian side that they don't have the same strength level as the Swedes, as well as some trouble adjusting and rotating in the water that makes them here the weaker team. But in general, for the time they played and for them being such a young team, it's very well done here. It should be stated that the Canadian women only have 3 goalkeepers rather than 4. So they are one.
I think only 3 attackers. Was
3
it?
attackers.
Yeah,
so
as far as I
one
understood.
player down here.
Yeah, 3 attackers, but at least 4 goalkeepers. But they have less players, that's altogether. And you feel it after a game like this in 2 times 15 minutes. That's not an easy task to sustain the pressure the Swedish put on them non-stop. I'm looking forward to the interview with one of the Canadian players if they are content with their outcome and at least the style they played. It really looks they played their game. Another goal.
Okay, now Sweden scored while Canada was in the power play.
So Sweden is again in full force. Sweden is again in full force for the last little more than 1 minute. It's going to be interesting, like I already said, to see Canada play against other teams here in the World Championship. That was a nice start, and looking forward to the games they will play in this championship here
against Great Britain. I think that's the team that's on the most equal level for the Canadians here.
Yes, at least experience.
Experience-wise, yeah. I think even the US women and the Spanish women are a bit more experienced and playing for a longer time than the Canadians do here.
Really good performance by the goalkeepers, called from the referee. Oh, penalty.
It's a penalty here.
This is a penalty against Canada, probably because the shoulder was in the basket. Let's hear what the referees say. That is tough. After all the free throws they had in their favor, now they have to accept a penalty throw against them.
Please out, just run in the... Take the ball.
So it's the second penalty we see here in the 11th World Championship of Underwater Rugby in Graz.
Okay.
Always a good moment for spectators. Penalties are always
ready.
Fun to watch, not to execute.
Actually, I like it.
Yeah, you do? Okay, here we go.
Not on defense.
Which is the number of the attacker?
I think it's the ominous number 37.
37.
No,
it's 11.
31.
No, it's 11, which is Maria Melin Wittberg.
Okay.
That was a fast one against the 49 Emma Jan Green.
Blue 11, yes.
Here's the
Quick
replay.
spinning move here underneath the goalkeeper.
Yeah, she went over the head.
She got good hold on the belly.
Very well done.
And just swung underneath and with a hook motion here.
By Marie
placed the ball into the goal.
Yeah. So less than half a minute left here in the second half, and the game will be over, and we will go into the game Spain male against Slovakia male.
I'm looking forward to this game actually. I'm not sure how the next game is going to be. Yeah, so the last second here of the game, Canada
That's it.
Sweden.
It was a 19-0, which is quite a high score, but like we said, it's well played by Canada. So Thomas, I would like to do an interview now, but can I leave you alone with announcing the teams and the anthem? Lorena is coming back, so maybe she can jump in.
I think it should be fine.
They're still happy, aren't they?
Okay, so now we are going to have, let me see, Spain versus Eslovaquia. Los chicos de España contra los chicos de Eslovaquia. As we mentioned before, the main language is going to be English, and maybe we can speak a little bit in their original language if we have also the guest commentators, hopefully.
You speak Slovakian?
Me? Of course I speak Slovakian. I just learned it yesterday. I wish, no. All right, so this is the 8th games of the day. Is 13 total.
So we just finished the game female team Sweden against Canada, and it was the first performance for the Canadian team at a World Championship. And I have Emma Cream here with me. So are you happy with the outcome? Not say the goals, but the way you played?
I'm so happy for these girls, and I'm so glad with the way that we played. Just in the last few days, how far we've come. It's been absolutely phenomenal. So we're so excited to be here, and I'm so glad with the way the girls played.
We agreed in the commentator box the performance of the Canadian girls was very impressive, because we never saw you at any time giving up, and you didn't make many mistakes. So there was only 2 times that we saw the goal without defender, very well defended, and it took the Swedish team almost 3-4 runs to get the goal. So how do you prepare for that? Was it the game you expected, or was it even better?
I am so excited with the way that we played. I don't think we were anticipating doing that well, but we made a real point before the game to spend time together, to work together, and just to be a team. And I think that's really what took us into that place, is the mindset. It's not so much about how hard we played, it's about how well we played together and thought together, and we're so excited together. So I think that was the difference.
You can be really proud of the game. We really appreciate it to see this CU team playing like that, and it's good to have you here at the World Championship. So what is going to be your next opponent? Do you know the next team you play against?
I believe it's Finland, so that'll be tomorrow. Yes? Awesome, yes.
So it's going to be a tough game, but I think mentally you're a very strong team and you're prepared, and I wish you really good luck. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you so much. We're so glad to be here.
All right. See you later. Bye.